right, today we're going to draw a map into one of the most exciting fields out there right now, data science and, importantly, MLOps. We're going to start with the basics, lay out the skills you absolutely need, and then check out the career paths that really bring data to life. So let's jump right in. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that's, well, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around. 2.5 quintillion. That's the number of bytes of data that we, as a species, create every single day. It is an absolutely mind-boggling amount of information.
And think about where it's all coming from. It's not just computers anymore. It's the shows you binge watch, the route your car takes, even your smart fridge and coffee machine are constantly generating data. And you can bet our old school tools just can't keep up with this flood. So that leads to the big question. How in the world do we turn all of this raw noise into something useful? Well, the answer. The entire field that was built to handle this data deluge is data science. It's all about finding that one crucial signal buried inside all that noise.
So what is data science, really? You know, at its heart, it's kind of like being a detective. It's about staring at these enormous, messy piles of information and pulling out the hidden clues, the insights that can solve actual, real-world problems. We're talking everything from helping a business grow to even predicting the weather. Let me give you a classic, kind of famous example of this. By digging into its sales data, Walmart noticed something weird. Sales of strawberry Pop-Tarts would skyrocket, like 7 times the normal amount, right before a hurricane was about to hit. Now, figuring out why that happens is a whole other puzzle, but just knowing that it happens, that's pure gold for the business. They can stock the shelves and be ready. That right there is data science in action. And the truth is, you see this stuff working every single day. When Netflix just knows the perfect movie for you to watch next, or when Facebook automatically knows who's in your photos, or my personal favorite, when Google Maps finds you a shortcut that saves you 15 minutes. All of that is powered by data science. It's just woven into the fabric of our lives now. So you might be wondering, okay, that's cool, but what does it take to be the person who builds that? Well, it takes a specific set of tools and skills. Let's break down what that learning roadmap actually looks like. We can really break this journey down into 3 big steps. And look, it's not about trying to learn everything all at once. It's about building a really solid foundation step by step. First, you have to start with statistics, no way around it. Then you build on top of that with machine learning. And the thing that guides everything, the most important tool of all, that's critical thinking. Yep, everything starts right here. You can think of statistics as the language of data. Before you can ever hope to make predictions about the future, you first have to be able to accurately describe what you're seeing right now. It's the basic grammar you need to read the story that the data is trying to tell you. And this slide breaks down the 2 sides of that language perfectly. On one hand, you have descriptive statistics. That's all about the what is. For example, what's the average height of the students in this specific classroom? Simple. You just measure them and get the average. But then you have inferential statistics, and that's about the what could be. Based on this one classroom, what can we predict about the average height of all students in the entire school? See that? It's that leap from what you know to what you can predict. So if statistics is the language, then machine learning is the incredibly powerful engine you build with it. And honestly, this is where things get really, really cool. Instead of you writing a bunch of rules for a computer to follow, you just feed it a ton of data and let it figure out the rules for itself. That's how a machine actually learns the difference between a picture of a cat and a dog, or how it learns to predict Pop-Tart sales before a storm. But here's the thing. That powerful engine is pretty useless without a driver who has a map. And that's your brain. Critical thinking is the one human element that technology just can't replace. It's all about asking the right questions, about asking why. It's what separates a simple report from a truly game-changing insight. But, just finding that insight, that's only the beginning of the story. Because once you've built up this toolkit of skills, you get to a crossroads with some really interesting career paths. So let's look at the different roles that take an idea all the way from raw data to a real product you can actually use. So here's a simple way to think about 2 of the biggest roles. A data analyst is kind of like a historian. They look at the data from the past and present to tell you what happened. A data scientist, on the other hand, is more like a fortune teller. They're building models to predict what will happen. So the analyst explains the past while the scientist predicts the future. But there's a huge third question. How do you make that prediction actually work for millions of people, reliably every single time? How does a model get from a scientist's laptop into your Google Maps app? And that question, That's where this whole other world opens up. This is the world of MLOps, or machine learning operations. It's basically a set of practices that smashes together machine learning with software engineering. The whole point is to automate the process of getting those predictive models out into the real world, and then, just as important, keeping them running smoothly. It is the essential bridge between, hey, I built a cool model, and hey, we have a real product that millions of people depend on.
So what's your action plan for today's data world? First, you gotta master the fundamentals. Math and stats are still the price of entry. Next, keep honing that critical thinking. Always be asking why and looking for the story. Then think about more education, maybe a degree or certifications that can prove you have the skills. And as you're doing all that, start showing that you can do more than just analyze. Build a portfolio that proves you can build and deploy a real working application, because that's what companies are really looking for now.
So, there's your roadmap. We are living in an ocean of data, just filled with these hidden patterns and untold stories. But the real challenge today isn't just about finding those stories anymore. It's about building them into living, breathing products that change how we all live and work. The data is waiting for you. The question is, what will you build?